lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white.
Here are the top 5 arguments that white people use to claim they're not racist. Number 1, coming in hot, we have, I don't see color. AKA, I didn't mean anything racist and you're actually the racist one for even talking about race. Number 2, we have, I'm not racist, my boyfriend/girlfriend is insert minority here, thinking that dating a person of a specific minority group therefore excuses them from being racist.
Why aren't white people openly racist? Why do they try to hide it with these weird innuendos that they think are subtle? It's because a part of them knows that racism is not currently in fashion. However, the more that Trump continues to spout racist nonsense and be our president, the more it becomes in fashion, aka socially acceptable. That is why I have seen more blatant acts of racism in the last, say, year than I have ever in my life, as well as online, and hate crimes are going up across the nation. Explicit racism is being modeled by people in our government right now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. Welcome so much for being here, and I love you so much. Please, if you find this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notification bell so that you can be the first one to get the video when I upload. Now, I'm going to talk about the hidden layers of racism, or the racism behind doors, because I've come across a video of a white lady who is saying this, that some white people are racist, but they don't show it. Okay, so she's exposing the hidden agendas. She's exposing her own race. She is exposing how white people can be racist without showing it. And I call it the hidden layer of racism. And that's what we are going to discuss today on this video. But before that, I want you to watch this clip of this lady. She's white. And another clip of white ladies or white people exposing the hidden racism or the hidden agenda, or how white people sometimes they hide their reality in the society. Let's watch this clip and then we'll come back again and talk something on it.
My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about whether white people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white. Obviously, this makes for some awkward conversations when I do call them out, but point being, the depths of the racism and the darkness that seeps in deeply into these families can only, in my opinion, truly be exposed by other white people, because they will never be their full racist selves around anyone who is not white. They like to save face publicly and say that they're not racist, but then again, if you go into their homes and you hear the things they say, that would suggest otherwise. I just encourage you, if you're a white person and you know people like this, please say something. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors.
Hi everyone, it's nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Kylie, for being able to articulate it in a way that I haven't been able to up to this point. And thank you for having the courage to say it so that I can join my voice to yours and others will hear this. Because you've said it plainly, simply, and honestly and truthfully. If this didn't happen in your home, it happened in your neighbor's home. And it happened in your church. And it happened on your school board. Yep. And it's happened in your state house. And it is the exact reason why the Heritage Foundation can even exist. Because this has always been the language in closed spaces behind closed doors. And there's no denying it anymore. Go back and listen to Kylie one time, all the way through, And listen, right? Don't counter any of the points that she's saying. Consume what she's saying. Listen to her one time. And it might be able to bring you to a place to understand that when I say hearing this man is patriotic, and the discomfort that comes from hearing this man is necessary to address the truth and resolve, find resolution and solutions. Patriotic duty for the sake of the nation, because our nation is gasping for breath under the very heel of what Kylie is saying and what I know as factual truth through lived and observed experience. And there's no gaslighting that. Listen to her one time through. Don't say but one single time. Just listen all the way through. And tell me that you don't know that as the truth in the country that we have all lived in for all of this time. For our nation. For our healing. For our future. For our children. Jesus Christ. Try something new, right? Try something new. Love you. I hope you're safe. Protect each other. I'll see you next time.
My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of...
See, this is exactly what we be talking about. Now, whether this stitch hurts your feelings or not, I don't give a damn, because it's 100% the gospel truth, according to Black America. Yep, I'm going to jump out that plane, and I'm going to speak for all of us, old, young, male, and female. Where you made your mistake at, young lady, is that we was never ever, from the inception of us not wanting y'all to talk about racism, meaning for y'all not to talk about it amongst yourselves. See, our problem with y'all is that y'all always in our face talking about it, but nothing ever gets done about it. Okay? Because y'all don't talk amongst yourselves. We was never ever telling y'all not to talk about it amongst yourselves so that y'all could end the shit. It started with y'all. It needs to end with y'all. We talking about y'all always up in our fucking faces talking about something y'all ain't gonna do shit about. So if you ain't gonna do nothing to fix it, and you know you ain't, stay the fuck out our faces, what we was saying. For all these generations, that's all we've been saying. Get the fuck out our face talking about something you apparently don't give a fuck about because you ain't gonna do shit to change it. That's what the fuck we talking about, little girl. So go talk to your friends, go talk to your grandma, go talk to your aunt, uncle, but stop making videos directed towards us like you fucking talking to us. Fuck out of here with that.
Why aren't white people openly racist? Why do they try to hide it with these weird innuendos that they think are subtle? It's because a part of them knows that racism is not currently in fashion. However, the more that Trump continues to spout racist nonsense and be our president, the more it becomes in fashion, aka socially acceptable. That is why I have seen more blatant acts of racism in the last, say, year than I have ever in my life, as well as online, and hate crimes are going up across the nation. Explicit racism is being modeled by people in our government right now, and it's also being modeled by popular social media influencers and content creators. However, it's still not fully socially acceptable to be openly racist and say it with your chest, so that is why they continue to try to hide it. And if there's one thing that white people hate, it's confrontation, it's being called out. So that is why when they are being racist, they would prefer to do so secretly so that they maintain plausible deniability instead of being called out, because at that point that is damaging to their reputation. It's about self-preservation for white people. That is why they're openly racist. My name's Kylie, and here are the top 5 arguments that white people use to claim they're not racist. Number 1, coming in hot, we have, I don't see color. AKA, I didn't mean anything racist, and you're actually the racist one for even talking about race. Number 2, we have, I'm not racist, my boyfriend/girlfriend is insert minority here, thinking that dating a person of a specific minority group therefore excuses them from being racist. Number 4, we have, I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, or purple, as if that absolves them from being racist by simply declaring they're not, then they're not. And number 5, oh, this one's tough. We have, I have black friends, therefore I can't be racist, not only to black people, but to any minority group. As you can see, the main thing in common between each of these phrases is a refusal to take responsibility for the racism and actually finding a way to make themselves seem more relatable by including the fact that they do hang out or associate with people of color. Yes, you can be racist even if you interact with people of color on a day-to-day basis or if you are dating a person of color.
Hi, my name's Kylie, and here are the top 5 things white people say when they know they're being racist, but they can't say what they're thinking out loud. Number 1, we have commenting on how something smells, specifically in relation to food. Generally, this is meant in an insulting way. Wow, it really smells in here. Whether it's food from Asia, Africa, regardless, white people think that it smells weird because it's not something that they typically eat, and they mean this in a racist way. Number 2, we have referring to women of color as not dateable, and no, this doesn't refer to their sexual past. In fact, what it refers to is the fact that many men are willing to sleep with women of color, but will never bring them home to their white mommy. Number 3, this is often said in private, but you can tell he was raised around a lot of white people, and this is typically meant in a similar manner of he's one of the good ones. Number 4, we get a lot of out-of-towners on Saturdays, and that means that that's when there's a lot of people of color that come into town, and that's when white people typically avoid going to the bars. Yeah. Number 5, referring to very safe areas in the suburbs as ratchet, the ghetto, or the hood. If it's not the direct center of the downtown of their suburb, this is typically when they use.
My name is Kylie, and I'd like to explain this analogy for the reason I make my content. Growing up as a white person, you are taught that everything you do is rooted in merit. So all of these CEOs who have earned their positions, it's because they are truly the best qualified for the job. Sexism, racism, etc., none of that exists. And in fact, our country has completely healed from the time of the Civil War when white people had enslaved people based upon their race. So now everything is perfectly equal. And if you don't work hard, that is why you end up in the position that you end up with. Systemic inequalities aren't real. Police departments aren't racist. And in fact, if you do the right thing, you will always succeed and you will always have good things come to you. Sort of a just world hypothesis situation. You don't even learn about racism until you're 15 or 16. So in many ways, the knowledge of white people about racism, whether it's something they say or do or participate in unknowingly, it's about the knowledge of like a kindergartner. So that's why something that seems obvious to you or to other people who have grown up experiencing racism is not at all obvious to white people, which is why I make the content that I do, to encourage white people to be actively anti-racist and to stop doing these things that I call out in my videos.
Welcome back. I hope you've got you've get that part. Tell me in the comment section what do you think, because I have my own reaction on this, because in today's world racism has evolved. Unlike the world that has passed, racism is not always loud, violent, or visible in the public. So, and some of these are more dangerous because it's better you show me your behavior. I know you are a thief. It's better you show me your behavior. I know that you are jealous. Instead of acting cool in front of me, acting cool when you are with me, but behind doors, you are acting weird. That's the most dangerous because you are like a killer. You pretend to be my friend, but you can poison me when I don't know. And most of dangerous racism activities are done behind doors. There are some white individuals who know how to present it, or to present a politically correct, tolerant image in public, but once they are in their comfort of their homes, or among people who share the same or their biases, they really got so true. Their real thoughts emerge. They are too much. They might smile at black colleague, but make racist joke at the dinner table. Now, for example, this might post like a Black Lives Matters on social media. They might post it, Black Lives Matters, but quietly oppose diversity efforts in their workplace or neighborhood. And this happened like this. You have black people we are working among black people and white people. You are acting cool. You say Black Lives Matters. You say police brutality should end. You post this. You talk about this. But behind the doors, you and your bosses who are white, you are saying, okay, we don't want diversity. White wages is high than black wages, but you don't talk about it. You act cool on it. When black people are being discriminated on the workplace, when they are being paid less, you are cool with it. That's another form of racism. If you are vocal out there, if you talk about Black Lives Matters out there, why don't you share, or why don't you talk loud about the inequalities that is happening in the society? Why don't you talk out loud the inequalities that is happening in the workplace? And this is not all white people, but some of them. Don't take it wrong, because this video is just for education, okay? And we are learning here. So if you are watching this video and you are a white person, I'm not saying that all of you white people are like that, but some of you, or some of the white people, they act cool in front of black people, act friends, but behind the doors or behind the curtains, there's something else. And this form of hidden racism is harder to be exposed, yet it is more harmful and long term, because this guy, you can't rectify him, you can't correct him. He can't be corrected with the awareness we keep out here, because they pretend to be good. So even when you are addressing racism, when you are addressing injustices, you take this white friend as your friend. But deep down, he or she knows that I'm not for you. And that is the reason even right now. That is the reason even right now, white MAGAs are crying out there. Because when Trump was campaigning, when Kamala was campaigning, they were out here saying that, oh yeah, we are supporting black people, we are supporting Kamala. But the secret is there on the ballot boxes, and the numbers came out. The white men voted for Trump, white women voted for Trump, and now the reality is heating up. So even if you are racist behind the doors, even if you hide the agenda you have, even if you hide your true behavior, it somehow will come out open, or it will attack you. So it's better if you are racist, you come out. We know you are racist, and we can know how to help you. As your black friend, I can know my friend is racist, but I know how to live with him. Now, it's very, very important to understand that not all racism wears a hood or shouts slurs. Like some of it wears in suit. Not all racists will wear the hood or t-shirts with racist words. Some of them, they are in suit. Some of them are politicians. They are out here shouting about Black Lives Matters, but deep down, they are so much racist. Now, white individuals, some of them, not all of them, they act tolerant in public, but express racist views in their private settings. And I've talked about that. They maintain a social acceptable behaviors or image, avoiding racism in public to fit in the society. Now, this is, for example, like politicians, white politicians. You may find a racist white politician, but on the public, he will talk about, we're good, perfect, but deep down, on their meetings, on the comfort of their zones, they are like, okay, these guys are like this. So the hidden racism supports a system of inequality quietly through hiring decisions, house choices, and institutional biases. Some may post supportive messages online, but offline, there's something else. And this has the long-term damage. Why am I saying this has the long-term damage? It's because all these inequalities we see, all these health disparities, education disparities we see, it is because of those hidden racists. It is affecting us up to now because of those hidden racists. Because you may wonder, for example, right now in Kenya, we have a president called William Ruto. And when it was campaigning period, people were like, okay, we are not going to vote for Ruto because he's a thief. He's like this, he's like that. But when the election results came out, Ruto had emerged as a winner. But right now, when the reality is hitting out, when the reality is hitting hard, you will not find anybody saying that he voted for him. No one. Out of 10 people you meet, 9 of them did not vote for him. So you will sit there wondering, who voted for this guy? And exactly what I'm talking about, we have inequalities in the workplace. But everyone in that workplace is out there saying that we need justice. We need justice for our people. And you as black person, you are wondering, now, who did this? Who put the low wages to black people? Because all of these white people here, they are our allies. We have black kids, white kids. That's saying we have black parents and white parents. For example, let's take an example of a school in the UK, British education system. They just come out with the idea that white kids are failing. They come out with this narrative that the white working class kids, children, they are failing. And the reason because of they are failing is because these black kids, we attend more on them and we forget the white kids. Do you hear that narrative? And that will blow the minds of some white people, white kids, white parents. And they will say, okay, so we are too much into diversity, equality, and we are forgetting our kids. So they will create this thing in their mind that we need to focus on our white kids. And that's where racism is born in school. That's where inequality was born in this British school. Now, they started saying that we need all children to be treated equally. Black children and white children to be treated equally. But what is this equally? They know they have advantage against us. Treated equally means that this white kid can say a racist word jokingly to a black kid, but you can't say anything. He will say, okay, we were joking. It's jokes. That's the equality. And these black kids will have trauma in their head because the white kids, they are so racist towards them. They bully them, but they will say, okay, it is jokes. So they are playing racism behind the curtains. Right now, Donald Trump have removed DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusivity. He's saying that everyone is equal. Let's treat everyone equal. And that's not the case. The case here is black people are going to have it tough. Playing equal means that even if I hire 10 white people and one black guy, I'll say this black guy is the only one who is qualified. That is playing racist cards without, in a hidden doors. That is playing discrimination card in a hidden doors. So you here, you're saying, okay, Trump have removed DEI, it's good, now we are okay with both of us. No, we ain't the same. They got advantage. They got white supremacy. And I have said a number of times, white supremacy is here to protect the rich white people, the white privilege. So we can't say we are equal when you are still benefiting from the white privilege. You are still benefiting from things that are not yours. We can say we are equal when you are still benefiting from the wealth gap you got from the black people. So that's all to say that the hidden racism or the hidden agendas that are being done behind the curtains are more worse. And it's high time as black people, we need to know the reality, okay? And I'm not saying all white people are like this, but some of them. And that's why we are calling out that we need to be vigilant as a people of color. We need to be vigilant because not all that glitters is gold. Not everyone that smiles at you means good for you. Some means danger. Some want you to smile back at him and then you say, hey, you see, hey, this guy. Yeah, Tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. I think we have learned one or two from the topics from this topic. I found it very eye-opening video and very good video. I hope you love it. Until next episode, peace out.